Hi everyone, I'm Lynn from Raycaster, and today I'll be talking you through our sales enablement workflow. So if you're doing tasks like account-based research, building prospect lists, or enriching lead data, then this is the workflow for you. And all this happens within our AI-assisted spreadsheets, which you can either create from scratch in our central workspace, or you can use our pre-built sheets, which are made for specific use cases. In today's case, we'll be acting as a CDMO looking for companies running clinical trials. Now, as the sheet is being created, you can see that it actually created a natural language prompt based on the criteria that we inputted in the form. And when we click Manage Our Research, we can look at more specifically what our agent is searching for. So here's the overall prompt for the type of companies and clinical trial data that we're searching for, but also the specific criteria that our agent actually broke the prompt down into to refine the search. And as you can see, it's working very quickly to automatically update our sheet once the leads are found. So you all saw how our AI agent was able to generate leads very quickly, but this is only a small part of what we're actually capable of doing within these sheets. Actually, the most compelling thing is the ability to do research based on all the data that we found. So this research is done on the column level and can be something as simple as finding the location of where a company has the most R&D presence or where its headquarters are, to something more granular, like the clinical stage of its biologics pipeline or its recent triggers. So let's take a look at the triggers column to look at more specifically what's happening here. Here we've just asked the agent, within the last 6 months, what are the CDMO triggers for a specific company? And we've listed all the triggers that are potentially interesting to us. But if there are more specific use cases that you have for this, or more specific triggers or signals that you're looking for, then you can always add your own, and the AI will keep them in mind when it does its research. But here you can see it's identified that Akero Therapeutics recently went through recent funding and had trial progressions. So you can click on the cell to find exactly what sources it looked at, so you can look at the different tabs, and also the reasoning it went through to come to this conclusion. So when we scroll down, we can actually see that it had recent funding earlier this year, and also the specific trial that recently progressed. So once you've enriched for all this information, you can obviously look for anything that you want, and it'll be formatted within this sheet. You would want to prioritize all the leads that you've actually found, since the agent can search for up to thousands of different rows. So here we've made a lead scoring column where we defined all the criteria and enrichments that we've already run, and then talked about the weighting for what matters to us when we look at specific leads. And you don't actually have to worry about writing this entire paragraph, because you can ask AI to generate a lead scoring prompt for you, and it'll actually reference all of the column names that are already relevant and present in the sheet. So once we've done that, we've gotten scores out of 10, and we've already sorted in descending order. So this helps you figure out which companies you should prioritize and talk to as soon as possible, and also ones that perhaps just simply aren't relevant. So after we have a list of companies, we might be interested in actually reaching the decision makers at those companies. And this is usually where people go to SalesNav or LinkedIn, but you can actually handle all of that within our platform, and I'll show you how. We have something called the people search column, which is basically a column where you can define the type of people that you're looking for. In this case, we're looking for people with decision-making authority over CMC or technical operations. And after you run this column, it'll actually generate people search results and return different people within an array. And you can look at these results within this sheet itself, or you can convert it to its own sheet to have a nice list of clean contacts. So this is a people data sheet that we created already. And as you can see, you can have people's names, their titles, the reason why they were good matches for our specific use case, and also their company URL, company name, stuff like that. We've also made a lead scoring prompt, as we did with the companies, but with more people-specific data. And this is also where we can do a lot of the outreach automation that our platform is capable of. So we've already found their emails, and based on that, we can generate an email. So here we've just defined the main goal for the email that we want to send, who we're sending as, and we actually have integrations with email service providers. So as you can see, we have our Gmail connected. Once you run the column, it actually creates the email content. So it has a nice message that you can edit for concision and clarity, a subject line, and it's basically just like having a Gmail built into your own platform. And once you've edited everything and made sure that everything works as it should, you can save the draft, schedule send, or even send immediately. With this people data, we actually have integrations with Salesforce and HubSpot, so you can get all this clean data pushed into the cloud immediately. And there you go. This is how our sales enablement workflow works. You can go from searching different accounts and companies and identifying leads to being able to research them, enrich them, prioritize them, and eventually find the decision makers who are able to move your sales pipeline forward.